I think that many of you may have shared what I have had. When joy is lasting over time, then silence is what it needs. And this is what we have done. So if you feel a great joy, as we do, I do not deserve to be thanked. I do not have the merit, but really the merit goes to all those who have pursued this aim, and we share this joy, therefore. There was a great scientist who wrote something extraordinary, and I will try to read it. Those who fall in love with the practice without the science are those who sail the boat without the compass, sail a boat without a compass, like those who never know where they are aiming at, where they are going. And this is what Leonardo da Vinci said. We are here to receive the steering wheel and the compass to find our way in life. We are here because we love sailing, and we love sailing with the right tools. Every one of us has taken part in these extraordinary ceremonies to open this meeting. I remember once I was in the cloister, and I remember that there was a student speaking on the cell phone, and I had asked all students not to use the cell phone. And I asked him, why are you on the phone? My mother called me. And what did you tell your mother? I asked the student, and the student answers, it's like being in a dream. I remember that student, he traveled all the way from the Apennines, from Tuscany, and he was right, because another student approached a teacher, a professor, during the same meeting, and he said, now I know what I want to do in life. I wanted to become a doctor, and he's a doctor now. Probably we have to increase the number of aperitifs and cocktails served during this meeting. But what happened here led many of these students to say, we are the future of these conferences. And you are right. This is not just a fact. This is the story of your life and the story of our lives as well. It all started with a yes. I participated in the first conference. That is why this project is only a 10-year-old project, not 11, because I was here alone on the first year, and I thought it was a great thing. And I approached a professor, and I told him, it's a fantastic meeting, but can I suggest something? He said, yes, you are you are all elderly people. You're more than 40 years old here in this meeting, and no one younger than 40 is present here. So what do you mean? 30 years old? No, I told him I wanted to say teenagers. No, do you mean? You mean people graduated? No, even younger than that, I said. We cannot, he said. But then Umberto said, well, yes, why not? Let's try. And I launched my project with teenagers. He said yes. And then I said, let's try then. And that's the way in which we lived this 10-year project. This is the 10th year we are here. I know at first there were only 10 of us. He said yes. I said, well, there were less people at the table then. This second year, Carlo Rubbia was following us, asking us, what is your university? The University of Happiness, I answered to Carlo Rubbia. They are teenagers. All of them, they were very happy, taking pictures here and there. So I used to tell them, this is a Nobel Prize winner, and they would take pictures. And then little by little we grew, and then we participated at the third year. There were 32 of us here. And then in 2008, of course, certain feelings have to grow up at a round figure. 2009, 50 students were here. Another picture, we are in front of the Scuola Grande di San Rocco here. At a certain point, we grew so much, 86 of us were here, and there were, of course, certain difficulties in some cases. Sponsors were not so generous, so we went down to 64, but we said, let's do something more, something better, 105. And the students grew in number, and the joy became greater and greater. I know I made a terrible mistake, but there were so many students asking to take part in this meeting, and we had to select them to contain the number. And then I said, if you behave well, we can be more, 158. Now, I asked them, are you happy? 148 students said yes. And here we have also Umberto's son who played the violin in that year. And then we had less opportunity last year. We discussed hunger, and we come from Romagna, and that's difficult to be translated. It starts from Ro and Magna, and we eat good food in Romagna, and so we had genetically modified organisms. Are you interested in this? I said yes. 114 people. So 100 people took part in the meeting last year. And now this is precision medicine. 100 students. 100 students. Is there anything more we can do? Well, did we have to look for them? No, they came to us. We started with just one high school, and then we had more, and then we went up to 4 high schools, and we got up to 17 high schools involved. I have to tell the cultural committee that we have covered the whole province of Romagna, and we have 719 students and teachers. Well, here it seems that the computer doesn't believe in what I'm saying. He doesn't believe. But now here I can tell you, we have had 719 students and teachers who have taken part in this project over the last 10 years. And I can say we were there. In the past, we had schools which were closed within themselves. They had fears, they had difficulties. They were really self-referential. They believed only in those who could learn things by heart. They were not paying attention to talents. Professors were used to testing the students one at a time, and professors were not paying attention to the potential of each and every one. And then there was this willingness to neglect the losers, and there was really too much red tape, and there was a lack of opening to the society and to the research, but with a great willingness to learn more. And so little by little, we had to apply a percentage, 2.3, 2.6% of the students in the last year at school. We couldn't do more. But now, well, this is the way in which we selected our students. Here we have 17 high schools. Last year we had more students, a little bit less this year, because every year we have a different number of students enrolled. And then we have 17 teachers. You may not believe in what I am telling you, but really I could not affect the data because we have a different facet of Italy. We have also a different facet of provinces. These are staggering data. The scores of these students, 8 out of 10, 8.40, and this is this year. So this is the mean of the scores of these students. These data are not compiled out of the final scores. I told the principals, the headmasters, after 4 years, that the selection criterion had been changed. And I told them, we have to assess the students on the last scores of the last but one of the last year. So in the first scores of the first 3 months of the last year. So that was how we changed the selection, not the last scores of the final scores, but rather the scores of the first 3 years. Because so the students who really wanted to come to Venice started to study from the very first day. That is why they have so high scores that are very good from the very beginning. So we can publicize all that, so we can inform and list the names of those who have been selected, and with this this motto, we will be there. So we have based ourselves on some results, on a few things we said to the students, and a final brochure. So all the students were informed on the way in which the selection is carried out. So it doesn't take to be the first of the class. No, we have to select these kids. We cannot select the first and the second or the third. We have to select those who can be better than the others and amongst the others. It's not the quantity of what you have or what you do. It's quality which matters. And then we had to convince them to be very good young people. So we told them, start from the problems, as you always do. Try to transform your problems into principles, because it works at a scientific level too. So you don't have to turn principles into problems. And then these are the reference values you have to follow and apply to be there, to be part of this selection. Please bear with me, but I'm not very good at using the technology. So we told the students, we are offering you what is the best you can get. It's always the best, and we have to have the best you can offer. You will take part, you will, in the conference, you will learn, and you will be able to transfer the knowledge to your co-students, to your fellow students. When Alberto Einstein was asked, what is the brain? It's like a parachute. If you do not open it, it's of no use. And then we told the students, do not work by yourself, work with the others, with your co-students. And so little by little, these students have been turned into the classrooms trainers. And the results, unbelievable results. These students, when the students go back home, they prepare the slides to deliver a speech to the class to teach their co-students. In 2012, they taught to 2,500, 2,900, and 4,300. Little by little, 17,000 co-students and friends were involved in this transfer of scientific knowledge, the scientific knowledge that these students acquired here. And this is the final figure. Yes, we have exceeded any record. This year, this year, this student will arrive at this record figure of 20,000 students they reached. Thank you.